Hello students, how are you? I hope you all are safe at home. Today I am here with Biotechnology, Principle and Processes, Part 4 of 12th Standard. In this session, we are going to discuss process of recombinant DNA technology, downstream process, bioreactor. So let us start the session. First topic is about process of recombinant DNA technology. In the previous video, we have discussed about rDNA technology, that is recombinant DNA technology. Now we will discuss here in detail about the different steps of recombinant DNA technology. The first step in rDNA technology or recombinant DNA technology is isolation of genetic material, that is DNA. So first we have to isolate the DNA. It means how we will get the desired piece of DNA or how we will get the gene of interest. As we know that nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA, is the genetic material of all organism, but in most of the cases it is of DNA. We also know that genes are located on DNA molecule. So the initial step of recombinant DNA technology is to obtain pure DNA molecules that must be free from other micromolecules. In order to get pure DNA molecule, several steps are required. So let us see what are the different steps for isolation of DNA. Bacterial cell or plant cell or animal tissue are treated with certain enzymes to break open the cell envelopes. During this process, bacterial cells are treated with lysozyme. The name of the enzyme is lysozyme to dissolve the bacterial cell walls. Plant cell are treated with enzyme cellulase to dissolve cellulose cell wall, and the enzyme chitinase is used to dissolve fungal cell wall, as the cell wall of fungus is made up of chitin. So here different enzymes are used to dissolve their cell wall. This results in the release of DNA along with several other micromolecules and some impurities such as RNA, protein, polysaccharides, lipids, etc. So they are also along with the DNA. So all these molecules must be removed from the DNA. So the next step is purification and separation of DNA. As you know that eukaryotic DNA molecule are intertwined with proteins such as histones, and these proteins can be removed by treatment with enzyme protease. Protease is the enzyme that digests the protein. So here for the removal of protein, the enzyme produced, and this enzyme convert protein into amino acids. Similarly, RNA are removed by treating with enzyme ribonuclease. Meanwhile, other macromolecules are also removed by specific treatment. Now, the pure DNA molecules are precipitated out by adding chilled ethanol and collected in the suspension. This isolation of DNA is easily done in laboratory using common plant materials like onion, tomato, spinach, banana, ripened papaya, etc. Here in the figure, you may observe that DNA is separated out and can be removed by spooling. Now the second step of process of recombinant DNA technology is cutting of DNA at a specific location or site. This cutting of isolated and purified DNA are done by restriction endonuclease enzyme. In the previous video, it was stated that the enzyme restriction endonuclease cleaves DNA or cut DNA at a specific site, which results in the formation of sticky ends. And same restriction enzyme are used to cut vector DNA as well as alien DNA. And further, both DNA are mixed in presence of ligase enzyme so that their sticky ends join and they result in the formation of recombinant DNA. So in this way, we are getting the recombinant DNA. Third step of the process of recombinant DNA technology is amplification of gene of interest, and this is done by a technique that is called as a polymerase chain reaction. In short, we call it as PCR. So PCR is a technique of obtaining multiple copies of the desired gene or DNA in vitro using two sets of primers and enzyme DNA polymerase. So with the help of two sets of primers and the enzyme DNA polymerase, we can get the number of copies of gene of interest. PCR is based on the principle that a DNA molecule, when subjected to high temperature, then splits into two strands due to the process called as denaturation. So whenever it is subjected to high temperature, then the two strands of DNA splits and separates, and this process is called as denaturation. The enzyme extends the primers using the nucleotides provided in the reaction and the genomic DNA as a template. In the process of replication of DNA is repeated many times, then 1 million copies are made. Whenever it is repeated many times, then 1 million copies are made. This can be done by the use of a thermostable DNA polymerase. Why it is called as thermostable? Because this DNA polymerase remain active at very high temperature and helps in inducing the denaturation of double stranded DNA. Why? Because the denaturation of double stranded DNA require very high temperature. Usually Taq polymerase is used for synthesis of new DNA molecule, and it is obtained from a bacteria, and the name of the bacterium is Thermus aquaticus. Thus, working mechanism of PCR involves three processes, three steps, that is denaturation, annealing and extension. Denaturation means separation of two strands of DNA by breakdown of hydrogen bond on heating. Annealing means two oligonucleotide primers hybridize to each single stranded template DNA in the presence of excess of synthetic nucleotide, and this process is done at lower temperature, that is 40 degree to 60 degrees Celsius. So in annealing, primers are attached to each single strand DNA. So this process is called as annealing, attaching of primers to each single strand DNA. In extension, the enzyme DNA polymerase synthesizes the DNA segments between the primers. So this is the extension process. This is the diagrammatic representation of the three steps, that is denaturation, annealing and extension in the process of PCR or polymerase chain reaction. Now, the fourth step of recombinant DNA technology is insertion of recombinant DNA into the host cell or organisms. There are several techniques used to introduce ligated DNA into the recipient cells. Ligated DNA here means rDNA. When a cell receives a foreign DNA fragments and become transformed into a genetically modified cell, it starts behaving differently. Means property has been changed. For example, if a rDNA bearing gene which is resistant to antibiotic ampicillin is inserted in E. coli cell, then resistant to ampicillin. Why? Because that ampicillin antibiotic resistant gene is inserted. So this bacteria become resistant to ampicillin. If such bacteria are transformed on a culture plate containing the antibiotic ampicillin, then only resistant form will grow and other will die. Why? Because other don't have this ampicillin resistant gene. Here ampicillin resistant gene is used as selectable marker, so which differentiate recombinants from non-recombinants or transformants from non-transformants. Next step of recombinant DNA technology is obtaining foreign gene product. When a piece of foreign DNA is inserted into a cloning vector and then transferred into a bacterial cell or plant or animal cell, it gets established and they are allowed to express their role in synthesis of desired proteins, and they are called as recombinant proteins. The transgenic cells may be cultured in the laboratory to obtain the transgenic product on a small scale. The cultures may be used for getting the desired protein and then purifying it by using different separation techniques. These transgenic cells can be multiplied in a continuous culture system where used medium is drained out from one side and fresh medium is added from the other side to maintain the cells in their physiologically most active exponential phase. As a result, it produces larger biomass leading to higher yield of desired protein. Let us see what is downstream processing. Once the foreign gene product is obtained, it is subjected to a series of processes before it is ready for marketing as a finished product. So it requires separation and purification. So that separation and purification is called downstream processing. Suitable preservatives are also added before reaching to the market, and some clinical trials as well as strict quality control testing must be carried out before it is regarded as a finished product. So all these processes are done before reaching to the market or ready for marketing. Last topic of today's session is bioreactor. Bioreactor are large vessels having a volume of 100 to 1000 liters, which are used for biological conversion of raw material into specific products, individual enzymes, etc. So with the help of raw materials, different products, different enzymes, they are formed with the help of microbial plant, animals, or human cells. Each bioreactor has a cylindrical stirred tank to facilitate the mixing of content and also providing oxygen. It provides a foam control system, a temperature control system, a pH control system, and a sampling port to withdraw the small volume of the culture periodically. The most commonly used bioreactor are of a stirring type. It is designed in such a way that it facilitates mixing of content continuously and also helpful in providing oxygen throughout the bioreactor. Here you may observe a simple stirred tank bioreactor or a sparked stir tank through which sterile air bubbles are sparked. So this is all about today's session. Thank you. For any kind of doubts, please write your questions in comment section.